and again, the end of the series, which is quite a somber thought. I hope you've enjoyed the series, but we'd now just like to open the floor up to any questions. So if you do have any questions and you haven't already used the question box in the Q&A section, then please do so now. But we've got 2 or 3 questions in there. Yep, we've got 3 questions in there. So I'll just cover these off and obviously put any questions that you might have that you've got at the moment. So question here from Steve: what are the core differences between Security Center Standard and the free version? Sean, fire away.
Thanks, buddy. So the free tier will show you what's happening. It will say, look, it will run assessments and it will provide you with recommendations and it will provide you with that secure score. It's kind of a tease. It will say, look, this is, everything's bad. Click here to find out why ultimately, and that's this Azure Security Center free tier. They've rebranded the other bit, the standard tier, as Azure Defender now. So with that, it allows you to look at some of the baselines for compliance dashboards and reports, just-in-time access, being able to get to that next level of understanding threat protections for platform services, and being able to look at threat protection for VMs and non-Azure servers as well. So the free tier kind of gives you a window into what's going on, whereas Defender allows you to do something about it and to get that deeper level of understanding, rather than just that quick view in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Good.
Thank you for that. What sort of charges would we expect for managed services? So I can handle that one. So essentially our managed services are a fixed price. So a lot of other Azure X MSPs that you might have dealt with, they operate their managed services on a percentage of consumption. The reason why we don't do this is that we don't want to have an incentive to keep your Azure consumption high or increase your Azure consumption unnecessarily. We really much would prefer to focus on cost and performance optimization and governance optimization to make sure that you have a really streamlined, cost-efficient environment. So we do fixed price that can be anything between sort of £3,000 to £5,000 per month, but obviously we handle all 3 of those pillars and the numerous different tasks and elements that you've already seen throughout this webinar. But yeah, no, the key thing is that we want you to reinvest in Azure and save where you can to fund that reinvestment rather than us taking a percentage of your Azure consumption, and obviously having an incentive that as your Azure consumption grows, your managed service charges grow. So we don't do that. And we've got a final question here. How much overlap is there between Sentinel and Security Center? Do you need both?
I can do that. So the answer is no, but yes, in Vicar of Dibley style. So you don't need Security Center for Sentinel, but ultimately you do, because Sentinel will demonstrate where the threats are. And what the threats, how the threats are affecting you. Security Center will be a mechanism for you to actually do something about it. So either through posture management to help prevent misconfigurations of workloads. So like we saw earlier, I haven't got any antivirus in there. Well, Security Center is going to be your mechanism to delivering that. Where Sentinel will just tell you, look, you've got a threat, it's being exposed, all the baddies are in because you've got no antivirus stuff on there. Okay, well, Security Center do something about that, and also looking at the platform perspective as well. So where there's gaps in other components and gaps in baselines for compliance as well. So it's not a yes, you have to have it, but you can see it makes sense for you to have it. It doesn't make sense for you to have one without the other. So yeah, it's and in terms of overlap, there's not overlap. They work hand in hand with each other, so they complement each other very well. So having Azure Security Center is even the free tier, it's free. So why wouldn't you have it? It's a good foundation for you to build on. Moving up into the Defender tier and then expanding upon that and maturing your cybersecurity operations, understanding what's going on within your environment through Sentinel is a good pathway to achieving maturity there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. I think the key message there is it's certainly a foundation to Sentinel, and obviously builds as a pipeline to that optimal security environment.
Yeah.
That's all of the questions. So if anybody does have any additional questions, then please feel free to either go through the live chat on the website or drop an email or give us a call, whatever contact method is best for you. But always happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Please stay tuned for any updates on future webinar series that we will be running. So we'll be doing new webinar series now that this one's come to an end. Hope you've enjoyed it. All of the webinar series is on the website if you do want to go back to recordings or gain any of the slide decks. But yeah, really enjoyed this, and hopefully you guys have too. Speak to you soon.